The name wasn't even spelled right. The gold-foiled envelope sat untouched on my kitchen counter for 3 days. When I finally opened it, the lettering gleamed like a spotlight. I never asked for Mr. and Mrs. Warren Barrett request the honor of your presence at the wedding of their son, Nathan Barrett, to Miss Victoria Langford. They spelled my name as Alana. No middle initial, no +1. Not even Ms. 12 years, and they still couldn't be bothered to get it right. I stared at it under the pale morning light filtering through the window, a fresh pot of coffee untouched beside me. Nathan's wedding being planned like a royal summit ever since he got engaged to Victoria, daughter of old money Langfords and executive VP at Bancroft Holdings. The kind of family my parents always hoped we'd marry into. Or at least Nathan would. Me, I was always too much or not enough. Too techie, too plain, too headstrong. I didn't smile enough, didn't wear pearls, didn't follow the blueprint. 12 years ago, I left NYU Medical School with 2 years left and a straight A record. My father, Warren, called it an embarrassing decision. My mother, Linda, refused to tell her bridge club I had dropped out. What they never knew, what they never asked, was that I wasn't running away. I was building something. I started Virex Technologies in the back of a converted warehouse in Newark. Just me, a space heater, and a laptop I bought used from Craigslist. While Nathan climbed through corporate finance with Dad's connections, I spent nights debugging firmware and emailing Taiwanese suppliers across time zones. Today, Virex is valued at $1.7 billion, no press photos, no LinkedIn title. Publicly, the face of Virex is Alan Reese, my godfather, and a veteran venture capitalist who prefers being underestimated. Privately, the board answers to me. I've never told my parents. I've never needed to. My phone buzzed beside the invitation. My assistant Danny, texting from the office Bancroft, just confirmed. Final contract delivered. $60 signature needed by Monday. I smiled. Bancroft Holdings. The same firm Nathan just joined as a partner. The same one depending on a new semiconductor line that only Virex could provide. A decade ago, I asked Nathan for a $10,000 loan to get Virex off the ground. He laughed and said, "Build something real first. You always chase ghosts." Now he was depending on the ghost I became. I tucked the invitation back into its envelope. Neat. Uncreased. Part of me didn't want to go. The other part, the quieter part, wanted to see it all unfold. Not for revenge. Not for applause. Just to watch them walk straight into a room they thought they owned without realizing who turned on the lights. Near the storage closet, ma'am. The Langford estate sat on 50 acres of manicured quiet just outside Greenwich, Connecticut. The kind of place where chandeliers hang in the greenhouse and the valet doesn't ask your name. He just nods if your car makes the right sound. I stepped out in a black wool crepe dress. Long sleeves, cinched waist-high neckline. Understated. Elegant. McQueen, but you wouldn't know unless you knew. My hair was up, my heels low. My invitation tucked into my clutch, unopened since the day I resealed it. Inside, soft jazz floated beneath the crystal light. Waiters moved like shadows. Guests wore curated joy on their faces, champagne in hand. My mother's voice reached me before her eyes did. "Elena," she said, air-kissing the side of my cheek without making contact. Her perfume lingered a beat longer than her welcome. "You actually came." "You look well," I said. She stepped back, scanning my dress. "You look professional. You always did like black, didn't you?" Behind her, my father, Warren Barrett, was deep in conversation with a tall, silver-haired man I recognized instantly, Henry Langford, Victoria's father and CEO of Bancroft Holdings. The handshake was warm, familiar. My father's laugh, the one he only used for future favors, echoed faintly. "You'll want to check in at the front," my mother said, already turning away. "They've made some adjustments. Victoria's family had a few last-minute RSVPs. Important clients, you understand." "I always do," I replied. The check-in table glittered with printed cards sorted alphabetically, each framed in silver. I searched for Barrett Elena. Nothing. I tried E. Barrett. Nothing. The young woman behind the table blinked when I gave her my name again. "Oh, right. Sorry there's been a bit of confusion with the seating chart. Let me just—" She flipped to a small clipboard beneath the table and pointed toward the far end of the corridor. We have you at table 29. It's set up near the side service entrance, just past the catering staging area. I stared at her. She stared back, smiled, apologetically. Near the storage closet, ma'am. I found it. Round table, no floral centerpiece, no name cards. A folding chair on one side, the linen slightly too short. Behind me, steel prep doors swinging open and closed. A waiter bumped past, not seeing me. Cozy, I muttered. A familiar voice cut through the hum. Elena. Victoria Langford approached sleek in ivory satin and pearls. Her smile polished as glass. You found your seat. I told the planner you preferred something more low profile. I said nothing. Nathan followed behind her, drink in hand tie loosened for the cameras. Don't make a thing out of it, he said. We had to prioritize people who matter to the firm. You get it. I looked down at the single napkin on the table. 10 years of silence of being the punchline to their dinner conversations. And now I smiled, then reached into my clutch and pulled out my phone. Cancel the Bancroft contract. All of it. I pressed the screen, waited one beat, then spoke low and clear. Danny, cancel the Bancroft contract. All of it. Her reply was instant. Understood. Emailing the withdrawal now. Click. Nathan blinked. What are you talking about? I turned the phone toward him. The Virex logo glowed against the dark screen. Beneath it, the contract. Final stage. Signature pending. His brow furrowed as if the information was refusing to load. This isn't funny, he said. That's a private deal. That's $60 million I finished. Of custom silicon you no longer have access to. Victoria tilted her head. Wait. Virex. That's Alan Reese's company. Alan is the face I said. I'm the owner. Elena Barrett, CEO, founder, architect. Nathan's glass dipped slightly in his hand. That's not possible. You work in logistics or something? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. A few feet away, one of the Bancroft VPs paused mid-step, his eyes flicking between my screen and my face. Recognition hit. He whispered something to another man in a navy suit. And then it began the ripple. Victoria's smile twitched. You're joking. I don't joke about numbers, I said. Nathan let out a short, humorless laugh. You're going to ruin our deal over a chair? I stood slowly smoothing the hem of my dress. This isn't about a chair. This is about a decade of being told I didn't matter, of being talked over, overlooked, written out. The chair's just the first thing you noticed. Henry Langford appeared, then flanked by 2 board members. What's going on? I extended my hand. Mr. Langford, we haven't officially met. Elena Barrett, Virex Technologies. His expression shifted. Your Virex, also known as EB Capital, which currently holds your line of credit through 2 of your subsidiaries. You should have read the footnotes. Nathan stepped forward, voice rising. This is my wedding, Elena. I looked at him then. Really looked at him. No, I said softly. This is your reckoning. I didn't expose you earlier because I wanted to see how far you'd fall. The music in the ballroom didn't stop, but the people did. It wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Just a single line of sight between the glowing phone in my hand and the right pair of eyes. That was all it took. Whispers moved faster than sound. Did she say, Virex? That's her. Oh my God, that's Barrett's sister. Victoria's eyes darted from me to Nathan and back again. She's bluffing, she muttered. This is a stunt. Is it? I said, tilting my head. You've met our legal counsel before. Evan Bishop, remember, nice guy? Good with IP enforcement. Victoria's face drained. Henry Langford stepped closer, his voice low but sharp. If this is true, you just cost us 2/4 of momentum. Only if I stay silent, I said. Nathan hissed. What the hell are you doing? I turned to face him fully. Giving you what you gave me the benefit of doubt, except now it's gone. He stepped forward, lowering his voice. You're humiliating me. No, I said. You did that yourself. I took a slow breath and let the next card fall. I also own Thorne & Reeve Consulting. You know them, they audit your department. You'll be pleased to know your accounting is about to be reviewed. Thoroughly. Nathan froze. Wait, what? Victoria's voice cracked Nathan. What is she talking about? I didn't flinch. 4 shell accounts. 1 funneling crypto losses into vendor write-offs. 2 masking phantom marketing costs. 1, well, I'll let the feds decide if it's laundering or just negligence. He opened his mouth, closed it. I didn't stop. You didn't think anyone was watching. You thought as long as the report stayed polished, the rot underneath wouldn't matter. Victoria stepped back from him like he had just turned into something she didn't recognize. You used my father's company to hide your gambling losses, he stammered. I didn't mean for I cut in voice even. I didn't expose you earlier because I wanted to see how far you'd fall on your own. Turns out pretty far. Victoria's hand flew to her mouth. Her mascara had started to smear. Her father turned on Nathan. Is this true? Nathan didn't answer. His silence said enough. Security started toward me from the back. Henry must have signaled. I raised one hand slightly. Calm, precise. I wouldn't, Mr. Langford. Unless you'd like your creditors to accelerate repayment. EB Capital holds the notes on 3 of your financing arms. 1 call and I can trigger a review. The head of security stopped. He looked at Henry. The tide shifted again. Nathan was sweating now, the sheen breaking through the gel in his hair. You planned this. I shook my head. No, I just stopped making myself small for you. He laughed short, sharp, almost hysterical. So what? You want revenge. A board seat money. I stepped closer. By next quarter, Virex will finalize acquisition of Bancroft's hardware division. Not because of this, because you were already bleeding. I just stopped the transfusion. Victoria sat down hard on the edge of a nearby table. Her gown pooled around her like deflated silk. This isn't happening, she whispered. Not today. Not at my wedding. I looked at her expression unreadable. The kitchen staff has a lovely setup by the storage closet, I said. Perfect for a family in your new position. The crowd didn't gasp. They didn't need to. The silence had its own shape now. My mother Linda broke it. She stormed forward, cheeks flushed. Elena, what are you doing? This is your brother's wedding. Have you lost your mind? I turned to her. You want to talk about loss? I asked, voice soft. Try being erased. Try needing a loan to start your company and getting told get a real job. Try watching your family fawn over someone who's been lying for years while pretending you're the disappointment. Her mouth opened. No sound came out. You cared more about the Langfords' approval than your own daughter's existence. She looked like I had slapped her. Warren, my father, had gone pale. His hand trembled slightly as he reached for his glass. Elena, he said, voice strained. We didn't know. We thought you were struggling. I was building, I said. Quietly. Because I knew that if I failed, you'd say I told you so. But if I succeeded, you'd still never give me credit, because it didn't look the way you wanted it to. I slipped my phone into my clutch. Now it does. It wasn't just a wedding. It was a stage, and the curtain just dropped. No one moved. No one cheered. No one protested. They just watched. Champagne flutes paused mid-air. Conversations died mid-sentence. Even the quartet in the corner let the last note trail off without picking up the next. The silence wasn't empty. It was loaded. Recognition sank in, slow and heavy like a ship taking on water. Victoria still sat motionless. Her hands clenched around the edge of the table, knuckles white against cream satin. Her perfect posture buckled. Her lips parted, but no words came out. Nathan. He was unraveling in real time. His hands shook. His jaw clenched, then loosened. Sweat bloomed across his brow, catching under the ballroom lights. He looked like a man trying to find the trapdoor and realizing there wasn't one. He stumbled forward, reaching for me, as if that alone might undo it. Elena, he croaked. Please, not here. Not like this. I didn't flinch. Not today, he said again softer. Think about what this will do to the family. I tilted my head. You mean the family that edited me out of holiday photos because my dress came from Nordstrom instead of Saks, the one that called me difficult for asking questions but ambitious when Nathan lied through his teeth. His mouth opened, but I kept going. Don't beg for family now, Nathan. You only remember I'm your sister when your life is burning down. From the corner of the ballroom, a guest raised their phone. Then another. I saw the red circle recording. This moment wouldn't be erased. Henry Langford swore under his breath and pulled out his phone. He turned his back to us, already making damage control calls. He knew. The deal was dead. The headlines were coming. Warren, our father, sank slowly into a chair. His tie was crooked now, his hands clasped tightly between his knees like a schoolboy waiting for discipline. His gaze never met mine. Linda stood beside him, frozen. The silence had cracked something in her face, like a portrait that's been hanging too long in the wrong light. It wasn't just a wedding. It was a stage, and the curtain just dropped. The receptionist didn't recognize me. I had to show ID. 3 weeks passed. No more voicemails from Nathan. No statements from Bancroft. No family group texts. Those had gone silent long before. Then, one Monday morning, Danny buzzed my office. You have an unexpected visitor. I didn't look up. From where personal, no appointment. Says she's your mother. I paused. Not long, just long enough. Send her in. The door opened with a soft click. Linda Barrett stepped inside in a pale blue blazer and matching slacks. Her shoes were a half step behind trend. Her clutch was last season worn at the corners. She stood like someone unsure if they were welcome. She didn't speak at first, just looked around. Clean lines, glass walls, framed patents on one side, a plaque from MIT on the other. My world, now visible. The receptionist didn't recognize me, she said, voice thin. I had to show ID. Security protocol, I replied. We've had interesting visitors since the acquisition. She nodded slowly. Her hand tightened on the clutch. I wasn't sure you'd see me. You're here, I said. She stepped closer, sat uninvited across from me. We've been thinking, she began, about the wedding, about everything, about what we failed to see. Her voice trembled, and for the first time in years, she didn't sound like she was trying to win something. We were wrong, Elena. So terribly wrong. We thought success looked like Nathan suits and firm handshakes, but we didn't see what you were building. I studied her face. She looked older than I remembered, not from age, from collapse. You came to apologize, I said flatly, or because the country club dues are due and you need help covering them. She flinched. We deserve that, she whispered, but you're still our daughter. Surely that means something. I leaned back, my gaze steady. It meant nothing when I needed support, I said. Why should it mean something now that I don't? A single tear slid down her cheek. Because we're proud of you, even if we don't deserve to be. This isn't help, it's a chance. I stood and walked to the cabinet near the window, pulled a thick sealed envelope from the top drawer, turned and placed it gently in front of her. What's this? She asked, not touching it. Information, I said. About Virex's small business initiative, a loan program, commercial real estate listings, contact numbers for advisors. She stared at the envelope like it might explode. You'd help us. After everything, I shook my head. I'm not helping, I said. I'm offering a chance. But make no mistake, no shortcuts, no backdoor favors, no trading on the Barrett name. Her fingers hovered over the envelope now. If you want to rebuild, you'll do it like I did, from the ground up. She blinked rapidly once, twice, her voice barely audible. Thank you. For the chance. And for the lesson. I nodded once. Lessons cost something. That's why they matter. As she stood, she clutched the envelope like a lifeline, then paused at the door. Her voice was small. Is there anything else I should know? I met her eyes. One more thing, I said. That table by the storage closet, the one you sat me at. She froze, already bracing. Best seat in the house, I said. It's where you get a clear view of who people really are. She didn't reply. She just nodded, then left quietly like someone who finally understood silence. Sometimes the best revenge isn't humble pie, It's letting them eat their words. 3 months passed. Bancroft Holdings missed its product launch. The press blamed supply chain setbacks. The board blamed Henry Langford. He stepped down quietly, just like I expected. Virex absorbed their hardware division within the quarter. Nathan tried to spin it, said he'd transitioned into new opportunities. In truth, he took a junior analyst job at a second-tier consulting firm in Albany. He's living in my parents' basement now. Victoria filed for annulment within the month. Her family cut ties, deleted photos, pulled their foundation's donation to the wedding venue. The videos had gone viral, 3 million views and counting. I didn't read the comments. As for my parents, they opened a small home goods boutique, applied through the program I placed in their hands. They qualified, barely. Linda manages inventory. Warren handles the register. It's not glamorous, but it's theirs, and they show up every morning, which counts for something. I kept the workbench, the same one from the warehouse I started in. It sits in the corner of my glass office, now scarred, uneven, still smelling faintly of solder. Every time someone visits, they ask why I keep it. I never answer. Some things don't need explaining. I don't attend weddings anymore. I don't go home for the holidays. I send flowers sometimes, a card, never a return address. What I built speaks louder than any reunion ever could. Because in the end, the table by the storage closet wasn't just an insult. It was a vantage point. It showed me who was willing to seat me behind a door and who never looked back to see if I was still sitting there. And the truth is, sometimes the best revenge isn't humble pie. It's letting them eat their words at the table they thought you'd never leave.